Class 6 Biology, Chapter 3rd. Good morning, students. Students, today we will see this respiratory disease and then we will move to the circulatory system. So, what are respiratory diseases? Obviously, these are the diseases or complications of our respiratory system. So, first is asthma. So, basically, students, asthma, this is a allergic reaction. Okay, allergic reaction which is caused due to pollens, dust, mold spores or certain food, and it results in difficulty in your breathing and wheezing. Now what is this allergic reaction or simply allergy? Now students, sometimes what happens, not every person is allergic, but some people, they are more allergic than the other. So if these foreign particles, they get entered into such person's body, so their body shows a excessive response, and during this excessive response against these foreign particles, the body suffers itself, and that thing is called allergy. Okay, so in case of asthma, which is a respiratory disease and it is a allergy basically, so it is causing because of the pollen, dust and mold spores. Then we have bronchitis. So bronchitis, it is an infection of the air passage inside the lungs. Okay, and this infection is mainly caused by the virus. And then we have the symptoms which include coughing up, mucus, wheezing and shortness of breath. Then we have pneumonia. It is an airborne disease caused by bacteria, and it is an inflammatory condition of lungs due to the accumulation of fluid in air sacs. So basically what happens, the air sacs, alveoli, the air sacs, there the fluid, some sort of fluid, they get accumulated. Now if the fluid is there, we want there to be the air, but instead of that air, fluid is there. So obviously our the capacity of the lungs to carry the oxygen, it will get decreased. Okay, and the symptoms include cough, fever, shaking, chills and shortness of breath. Then we have tuberculosis, and it is also an airborne disease caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Okay, and it mainly affects lungs but can also affect other parts of the body. Now symptoms include coughing up mucus and sometimes blood, then loss of weight, loss of appetite and pain in lungs. Then there is a fillip. So air enters the body through the nostrils. Then the second one is alveolar sacs located at the end of the bronchioles. Then we have lungs are protected by the rib cage, and then oxygen in blood combines with hemoglobin to form oxyhemoglobin. Okay. Now your next topic is circulatory system. So in case of human beings, we have blood as the circulatory liquid. So students, you know that blood always keep moving, or it is in us always flow of motion in a given direction. Okay, and that blood flows inside the blood vessels. And what is the purpose of the blood? It carries nutrients from digested food from the small intestine to other parts of the body. It also carries oxygen from the lungs to the cells of the body. And students, it also carries the waste product such as carbon dioxide and urea for removal from the body. So these are the functions of the blood. We will see one more function of the blood meanwhile, but before that, let us see the parts of the circulatory system. It is heart. You know the function of the heart, it is to pump the blood. Then we have blood vessels, and these there are generally three types of blood vessels. These are arteries, veins and capillaries, and obviously we are having the blood. So the first part of the system is our heart, and it is a muscular organ which is located in the chest cavity. Now students, our heart is four chambered, and I'm just making a rough hand sketch of the heart. So this is the left half and this is the right half. Now students, don't get confused that this is on the right hand side, so why we are writing it to be the left half? Because it is the heart, you can consider it to be the heart present in a person who is facing you. So in that sense, it is the left side of the heart. According to that person, it is the left side and it is the right side. So I'm getting it divided into 4 chambers. So now first initially I made the left one and the right one. Now it will be your upper side and lower side. Okay, upper half and lower half. So the upper half is called the auricle. It is also the auricle, and the lower part is called the ventricle. It is also the ventricle. Now obviously, since this is left hand side, so it will be called left auricle. It will be called right auricle. Now it will be called right ventricle, and it will be called left ventricle. Okay, now students, generally there is a sort of opening here and here also. So what happens whenever the blood from the lungs, and you know lungs, it is the oxygenated blood. So oxygenated blood from the lungs, it enters this chamber, which is the left auricle, and thereafter there are valves which gets open, and this blood falls into this left ventricle chamber. Okay, and thereafter the ventricle, they get squeezed. Okay, we know na, heart is always in a sort of rhythm, in a sort of beating. So whenever they get contracted, the ventricles get contracted, the blood moves out of the aorta. So that rough hand diagram I'm showing, this is a pipe, and this pipe, this is a artery, and it is called the aorta. It is the largest artery in the body. Okay, aorta, aorta. Got it? Now this aorta will just get divided into hundreds and hundreds of fine vessels or smaller arteries, and all those arteries will be broken down into the capillaries, and these capillaries then pass the oxygen and nutrients to different body cells. So I'm writing cells or tissues. Okay, so this oxygenated blood this will pass the oxygen to the cells, different tissues, and different cells of the whole body. Okay, now from here carbon dioxide will be released. You know, CO2 is released. Now this CO2 will be carried once again by the blood itself. Now this will come again to the heart, and now this time it will fall into the right auricle. Okay, and from right auricle, once again the valves, the doors will get open. So these doors are generally called the valves. So there are certain valves, and there are also certain valves. Now from the right auricle, it will again fall into the, after opening of these valves, it will fall again into the right ventricle. Okay, and from here again it will move out to the lungs. Okay, so student, this was the rough hand diagram for you people regarding the movement of blood flow in our body. So student, this is the flow chart of your blood circulation. So from the lungs, the oxygenated blood will enter into the left auricle of the heart, then it will fall into the left ventricle of the heart, and from there it will pass to the different body cells or the tissues. Now different body cells, they will release CO2, and where this CO2 will go, obviously it will go into the blood. So the blood carrying CO2, it will come again towards the heart and get entered into the right auricle. From there it will fall into the right ventricle, and from there the right ventricle, it will move to the lungs. to just take out the CO2. It will just leave the CO2 in the lungs, and from the lungs, you know what happens, we just release carbon dioxide outside. Okay, and then once again the blood, now again it will be loaded with the oxygen.